What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we have a new report on Zach LaVine possibly heading to the Golden State Warriors as trade talks are gaining momentum from this latest report. And then also Bleacher Report throw out a wild three-team trade idea for the Chicago Bulls where they had them acquiring 4 first-round picks in this deal. Stay tuned for that. But before we do so, if you guys could help us out here and help us reach 11,000 subscribers here at the Bulls Report, we just need 392 more of you guys to go down there, hit that subscribe button as we are only 6 days away from the NBA trade deadline. If you don't want to miss a thing around the Chicago Bulls and the latest rumors and talks around the Chicago Bulls front office, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button. All right, let's dive into it. What is the latest on the Zach LaVine Warriors trade front? Well, an NBA insider dropped a pretty bombshell report on Zach LaVine heading to the Golden State Warriors here before the NBA trade deadline gets underway. And we have also heard a lot of reports over the last couple of weeks of LaVine heading to the Golden State Warriors. And after what Brett Siegel had to say, trade talks are intensifying. So this is what he had to say. The Bulls and Warriors have held significant trade conversations through the week, sources said, with the focus on Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic. Nonetheless, talks of LaVine heading to the Golden State Warriors are very real and gaining momentum. Now, listen, rumors are rumors, just reports like this. You don't want to always take them as like, oh, they're for sure going to happen. But I will say, I would be shocked if Zach LaVine remains a Chicago Bull past NBA trade deadline. We heard a lot of rumors this summer around LaVine getting traded. Even last trade deadline, teams are calling on a potential LaVine trade. So I would be very shocked if he is on the Chicago Bulls roster past the trade deadline. And I just want to ask a certain section of Bulls fans a question here. Why do you want to keep Zach LaVine? Because still a lot of comments I get, why would you want to move off Zach LaVine? He's the best player on the team. He's an extremely talented basketball player. And I don't disagree with both of those statements. Like, yes, he is the best player on the Bulls. And yes, he is a very talented basketball player. But I'll ask you guys this. Are the Bulls even close to contending in the Eastern Conference? And the easy answer to that is absolutely not. So what is the goal here? Are we trying to compete for championships, or are we trying to, increase our draft pick status in this upcoming draft? Because, the biggest concern for me is the Bulls play out this year. They don't trade Zach LaVine, and they don't get their first-round pick. Like, I think it would be a disaster if the Bulls somehow land the 11th pick in the draft, you make the play-in tournament, and then that pick heads to the San Antonio Spurs. But it's also not a shocker to me that Zach LaVine is getting a lot of suitors out there for the NBA trade deadline. Like, he's had a good season. I don't want to, disrespect LaVine and saying like, oh, I want him to get him off the Bulls roster because of the way he's playing. He has played awesome. He has upped his trade value immensely from what it was this summer. Because, we were hearing reports this past offseason, like the Bulls may need to attach a first-round pick to land or to trade away Zach LaVine off their book. So I still think the most likely trade to go down for the Chicago Bulls is this one. It would be Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton II, and Kevon Looney, and a 2025 first-round pick. Probably going to have to be lottery protected from the Golden State Warriors, but then they would be receiving Zach LaVine. Quickly on the Warriors front, I think this would be a great move for them. I still think Steph Curry is playing like a top 7-ish player in the NBA. Give him that one more, championship run with the Golden State Warriors, because if they stay put, the Warriors have no chance to even sniff the Western Conference Finals, let alone the NBA Finals with the way the roster is currently constructed. So get him more talent. Zach LaVine is that, and I think he would fit in very, very well with that read and react offense over there in Golden State. But the two other guys besides Wiggins that the Bulls are getting here, Kevon Looney and Gary Payton, listen, they only play around 15 minutes a night. They're just solid role players in the NBA, and I think both these guys would be potentially bought out by the Bulls if they do end up making this trade, which would be good news because then they would get other guys like Modest Buzelis, even a guy like Dalen Terry, Julian Phillips, these young guys more minutes, and the rebuild just needs to start with the Bulls. Like, that's my biggest argument on trading Zach LaVine or Nikola Vucevic. Like, you are so far away from competing for a title. You just need to start this rebuild, start accumulating draft picks, get younger talent in this organization, because with this currently constructed roster and this core you have of LaVine, Coby White, Nikola Vucevic, I mean, you're 20-28 for a reason. The Bulls are one of the worst defensive teams of all time, giving up 120 points per game. They're a joke on that side of the floor. And, obviously the age-old cliche like defense wins championships. Like, I really believe that's true, especially in the modern-day NBA. Like, you look at teams like the Thunder, one of the best defenses in the NBA. The Celtics were a great defense last year. You have to be able to defend on that side of the court if you want any chance of winning an NBA championship, and the Bulls are so far away from that. So I still stand by it. I think they need to move off Zach LaVine, even though he has been great. But I'll ask you guys this. What do you think? Will the Bulls end up trading Zach LaVine at this year's NBA trade deadline? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no down below in the comments section. Let me know what you guys think on Zach LaVine potentially being dealt this year at the trade deadline. Now, we'll dive into that wild 3-team trade here in a second. Trust me, you guys want to stay tuned for this one because I got a lot of thoughts on that. But before I do so, I want to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is PrizePicks. Now, if you guys download the PrizePicks app today and plug in promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the PrizePicks app today, plug in promo code CLNS, get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is PrizePicks? PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. Now, if you guys are going to watch the big game between the Eagles and the Chiefs, make sure you guys include this free pick PrizePicks is offering, where only one Patrick Mahomes passing yard gets you 1 win on PrizePicks. So take advantage of this. Make sure you include this in all of your lineups. Not this weekend, but the weekend after. Take advantage of it. It's a sweet deal, and trust me, you guys won't want to miss out. But make sure you guys do download the PrizePicks app today. Plug in that promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Plug in promo code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. A massive shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, the fun part about today's show. Tired of talking about the Zach LaVine trade rumors, if I'm being honest with you guys. But now we got more trade rumors around 2 other players on the Chicago Bulls, that being Coby White and Dosunmu. And Bleacher Report dropped this early on this morning, and it is an absolute wild trade featuring the Chicago Bulls, New York Knicks, and the Oklahoma City Thunder on this one, where the Bulls would be receiving Tyler Kolek, Mitchell Robinson, and 4 first-round picks. But some of these are fake first-round picks, and what I mean by that, they're heavily protected, and there's a lot of contingencies on these. But one of these first-round picks is the Sixers for this upcoming draft, 2025. It's top 6 protected, but that could turn out being like the 7th or 8th pick in the NBA draft. And you also get a Wizards 2025 first-round pick. That's top 10 protected, so you won't get that one. But then it's top 8 protected in 2026. But it does turn into a 2nd-round pick in 2027 if it does not convey. Then you're also getting a 2026 first-round pick, the second most favorable from the Houston Rockets, Los Angeles Clippers, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then you're also getting a 2030 first-round swap, top 4 protected from the New York Knicks. And what are the Bulls giving up? Dosunmu to the New York Knicks and Coby White to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So more on Coby White and Dosunmu, because I honestly thought before the Josh Giddey trade this past offseason, I would have been more than happy with these two being the backcourt of the future in Chicago. Like, I think Coby being that offensive-minded guard, Ayo being that defensive-minded guard. I think they have a little yin and yang to each other's games, and both of them are solid playmakers, averaging around just under 5 assists a game. Both are fairly efficient from the field. Ayo has struggled from downtown this season, but I would not be a fan of trading Coby and Ayo whatsoever. I think if you had to kind of pinpoint what are the positives of this Bulls roster moving forward here, Coby and Ayo would be at the forefront of that. But I say all that to say this. If you have a chance to get 4 first-round picks and a 2nd-round pick, plus a young guard in Tyler Kolek and a center in Mitchell Robinson, you at least have to consider this. So, like, if this is the trade that's presented to you guys between the Bulls, Knicks, and Thunder here, I mean, even though I'm a huge fan of Ayo and Coby White, like, what a better way to spark a rebuild where you get 4 first-rounders, you get a 2nd-round pick. Yes, you're moving off Coby and Ayo, but, hypothetically, if the Bulls trade Zach LaVine, trade Nikola Vucevic, and you just want to completely rehaul this roster, this is not a bad deal. But I'm sure you guys are going to have a lot of thoughts on this, so I'll ask you this. Would you accept this trade? Give me an A for accept or give me a D for decline down below in the comment section. Very, very curious to see what you guys have to say, because this is a haul, no doubt about it, but you're giving up 2 fan favorites in Ayo and Coby on that one. But also make sure you guys are subscribed here. Help us reach 11,000 subscribers on YouTube. And thank you guys so much for watching today's show. See you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.